Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Lego, the Bear Cave, the Scythe emote into chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. Welcome to the intro portion of our stream, the hangout portion, where we just kind of chill and have good vibes and good energy, and we let people be fashionably late for the stream. We've got Mr. Hadel here. We've got Aristophan. Welcome, everybody. Happy to have you here. Welcome to the old Bill with Bear. We're going to wait to see if a few more folks want to join us. Maybe people are tired. They are burned out after last night's thrilling evening of playing Jackbox games. And they were like, Pat, I was there last night celebrating your birthday. This is your 8th Deathscythe, so I think I'm going to pass. Because I did the math, folks. Nice job with that, by the way. That was really cool. We'll appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We'll talk a little bit about my birthday and all that as we build and that kind of thing. But yeah, so I did the math because somebody asked. Shout out to Buttercup out there. Asking Girly Buttercup asked me, "Hey, how many death sites have you built?" So here's the math of it. I have built the 2 Deathscythe master grades and the 3 high grades. So that's 5. Now, there's also another high grade that exists, and there's another master grade. And so, yeah, there's the relaunch master grade. And then there was also the high grade that came out that was not the original. That was the Love Phantom. Ottoman says, "Hey Pat Bear, good to catch you. Glad you're here. Thank you for hanging out. Welcome." Yeah, so then the Love Phantom technically is a Deathscythe. And if you're like, Pat, well, you've built all the Deathscythes, you've built all the re-releases of the Deathscythes, you built the variants of the Deathscythes, you're done. No, I bought the I built the Life Lance, Heaven, which is the inverted Death Scythe. I don't think I made a page for it yet, so let me find it here. Sorry, I gotta. There it is. Put that there. I bought this thing. I pre-ordered it yesterday because I got sent I got sent some money to put towards buying a model kit. And they were going to originally send it to USA Gundam Store gift card, but didn't. They just sent me money. So I used it at USA Gundam Store to pre-order this model kit, which is the Deathscythe Hell high grade, or a new version of Deathscythe Hell high grade, supposedly new parts, but it because it does have new parts because it has new bracers, and this is like the wacky world version of the Deathscythe Hell. It is the Life Lance Heaven. See what they did there? Death, live, scythe, lance, heaven instead of hell. So they did that, and I bought that because this is like a death scythe. If I count the Love Phantom as a death scythe, I gotta count this as a death scythe since it's using the actual thing. The Love Phantom is just a build fighters like thing that has a scythe and uses some death scythe parts in it. It barely counts. Anyway, that I'm not getting. That's shipping in November, so don't worry about that kit. You won't see it for a while. You eventually see it, but don't worry about that right now because that's going to be a ways before we get that. We're just right now seeing if people are going to come in, hanging out here in the pre-show. We're going to get building in a moment or two. Topics of conversation for tonight include talking about what I did for my birthday yesterday, including the stream, but also what I did before that. Talking about the recent announcement of a convention that is happening some months from now that seems bizarre. Things you want to talk about. In the second hour, we will be talking anime, specifically the 4 anime shows, all of which wrapped up this week. All 4 of my Tuesday, Wednesday shows wrapped up. So new stuff doesn't start till July 1st. So like next week, I'm just like gonna start going through back some old stuff, or I'll be talking about things that I watched. Like I haven't talked on stream about Zombieland Saga, because I wasn't watching it weekly. I was watching Zombieland Saga Revenge, the second season. I've been watching that like in bits and starts, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but they went wild. Like the first season, I was like, oh wow, that's brave and cool that they ended like the show like that. And the second season, which is the Revenge, I was like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Why would they do that? Also, a cool thing about episode 12 of Zombieland Saga Revenge is instead of being 24 minutes, it's 27. They gave them extra time to finish the story. They could have cut a montage or a song, and that would have been a bummer. I think that's fucking very cool. Anyway, I'm going to retweet my tweet, let the people know that I'm out here building a model kit and that they can come hang out for that if they want to, because that's fun. Um, Why is that something that's retweeting me? Okay. Um, getting every once in a while I just get retweeted by some sort of bot, and I'm like, why? Why would you do that? I'm nothing to do with what you're doing. What keyword triggered for you? Anyway, before we get building, actually, I got to promote. Speaking of anime and me wanting to talk about it, Pat Beer's Anime Club, yelling about the shows we love, featuring Ian Horner, Heather Derry, and myself, is Friday, July 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/PAX2. The panel has been pre-recorded. I'm going to edit that out. We did record it so I could get it done in time for the when they wanted it. But that's coming up, and I will be hosting that stream here on this channel if you are so interested. But right now, let's get into model kit building. Got to move my mouse out of the way. Let me know how it sounds here. I am working with the placement of the microphone and how much gain needs to be on there. I think I have zoned in the proper amount of the noise filtering, but I'm still not sure about placement because I don't want it like all up on me, but also it can't block me from building. And then I'm also trying not to have it so if I this arm right here, I don't want to bump the microphone, but I also want you to be able to hear me, which is why I had a headset mic for so long, was to avoid these problems. But also, this sounds way fucking better, especially in recording. Oh wow, this sounds better. I'm so excited about how good it sounds. And now, like, well, thank you. I very, very much appreciate that, Poochie. But also when I do like recording for podcasts and stuff like that, it's gonna sound way better for everybody else. Um, so that's nice. So I theoretically I am on a podcast soon. I will be making a podcast appearance soon, actually talking about anime. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. I'm waiting to hear from the person who invited me to be on, and then like 2 days later was like, actually, we have to postpone this because things are getting wacky here at work. And I was like, okay, but it will be cool if we get to do it. I don't know if we will. I should actually follow up. Is like I want to do it. Okay, so birthday. That was yesterday. Thank you everybody who came to my birthday party, which was me playing Jackbox with the chat and hanging out. I very much appreciate everyone that tuned in for that stream. It was very nice of you for being here. Um, I had a very fun time on that stream. What was my birthday like besides the stream? You might be wondering. I don't know if you are or not, but I'll tell you anyway. So I did a lot of internet stuff, checking with people. I had that was a great time. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for being here tonight. I had a good time. I during the day I did a lot of internet and stuff, my usual things, you know, applying for work and all those various things. Trying to work on a project here and there. Recorded a thing. And then I had like a late lunch hangout with some friends. Late for me, lunch for them because they're on the West Coast. So we did like a Discord hangout, which was very fun. Did that for a while. Watched some anime, caught up on my anime stuff so I could talk about it tonight here. Went out to dinner with my folks. We went to an Italian restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant called Pacino's. They called it Pacino's. It is not. It is not owned by Mr. Uh, Al Pacino, but it is called Pacino's. And also, it's not. Everyone was like, I've heard people talk about it, and they were like, "Oh, it's this great Italian restaurant. It's this great Italian restaurant." It's a Mediterranean restaurant. Now, do they focus on Italian food? Yes, but do they also serve other things like Greek food? They totally do. So it is a Mediterranean restaurant. I really appreciate that. They're like, it's called Pacino's. It's Mediterranean. I'm like, okay, y'all need to like figure something out. But it was very good. Um, I was sitting directly under one of the speakers in the ceiling that pumps in like music, and so that was a little weird, but other than that, excellent. Did I get a chicken parm? Of course I did. It was inexpensive and good, so I did that. Should I have gotten the veal? Possibly. Possibly I should have gotten the veal. I do enjoy a veal parmesan. Did not get that though. But that was good. Had dinner with my folks. Um, then I came home, hung out for a bit, got some stuff prepped for today, and then I kind of chilled and relaxed a little bit. And then I had my stream where we played Jackbox games and hung out. Had some visits from friends of mine who don't come to streams too often. We had people that were new. One of my favorite things is we had people who are just looking for Jackbox games to play. Like we had a couple people come in that definitely didn't know who I was and didn't. They were just like, "Oh, it's your birthday? Neat." I was like, "It's like, oh, you should play this game." And I was like, "Okay, I'm glad to have you here." Um, that was very fun. That was a good time. Um, my birthday last year, which was, I'm gonna make this clear. Last year was my 40th birthday. I did play Jackbox games, and because I had really good internet, I had guests on in Discord, and then I was, sending them my screen so they could play along, um, which worked out very good. Won't work out now uh, because this my internet here is not that great, so I wouldn't want to stream out gameplay and audio to them and then also play the game with all of you. I just think that would be a mistake. So I didn't do that. But instead, last year I did do that, which was a fine enough time. It was a good time. Um, but also, last year was my 40th birthday, and I didn't see anyone face to face that day. I didn't talk to a living soul like face to face. So this year, being with my folks was way better, and like going out to eat was nice. Um, like a lot of parts of this country where I am right now, no one is wearing masks, and it is still very fucking weird and not cool at all. Do not enjoy that part of the life that I am living. I wish people were wearing masks because this area is pretty good about the fact that there are a lot of people who got vaccinated, but also someone I know's son lives who's lived in this area uh, definitely also got COVID, and he has been vaccinated. So he wasn't hospitalized. He seems to be doing all right, although he has temporarily at least lost his sense of smell. But yeah, I mean, it was just like, oh, well, no, I know somebody who got vaccinated and also got COVID. So it's out there, folks. Get vaccinated and like take care of yourselves. But like, yeah, that was a harsh reminder. So yes, that was certainly in my head that I was like, I don't like that nobody out here wears masks, that everyone's close to one another, and everyone's just acting like everything is cool and we beat it, which, we didn't. I'm paneling this now just because it's a nice little white piece and it'll be easier to do this now than once I have assembled the foot. We're working on the foot of our Deathscythe. You can see I'm just putting the Deathscythe right there. It's a small little high grade. We can just have it right there hanging out while I build. Um, but yeah, other than feeling a little weird about that, it was a lovely evening and a good way to celebrate my birthday. I'm very happy about that. I think I have another thing this weekend, a small little like get together, a Zoom get together with some people, and I'm looking forward to that because it's nice to hang out with people and chat with them and see what they're up to. Am I doing this right? I think that's what I want to be doing. Okay, I do have this on slightly wrong. It should go like this. I always say I can do this blindfolded, but then presented with a thing, and I'm like, this seems wrong. Did I do this right? I did. We'll just get this cleaned up, and then we will move on to the next part, A29. Okay, so now that I've talked about the good things that happened yesterday, which was my birthday, hanging out, the fun things, like I said, might have another little get together this weekend with some people, just, on the internet, an excuse for people to get together and hang out, which I'm looking forward to. So we should talk about PAX. In July, there will be PAX Online, which is like the replacement for PAX East, because PAX East didn't happen this year. So there's a PAX Online. And I think that's a great idea. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be real fun. Um, and like I said, I'm doing a panel. I will be checking out some other people's panels. I'm sure it'll be a good time. It'll be a fun time. But also, there's a live PAX happening this year. It was announced yesterday that PAX West is happening on the normal weekend that PAX West would happen in September. And that feels bad. That feels like a bad choice and a bad thing. And it doesn't feel like a good idea to, in September, have a live, like, now, are there things they're saying they're going to be doing that would be helpful? Certainly. They are going to be limiting how many people will be there, how many tickets will be sold. That sounds good. They are going to be doing temperature checks before you get in the building, which sounds good. I don't know how you do temperature. I don't know. They have not said, are they going to be doing temperature checks at hotels, which is where all of the panels happen? Will they be doing that? Because the hotels are open to all kinds of people. They have not said. But as far as the convention center, they will be doing temperature checks there. And you will have to have that go through in order to get in, which is a step. You will have to be wearing a mask at all times. Will not be able to remove it. And your cosplay should not prevent you from wearing it. If you're going to wear cosplay, you got to include a mask. You can't just have like a piece of plastic over half your face and being like, I'm wearing that. It's got to be a mask. I think that is a smart thing to say that you require people to do. Hey, Last Rick, welcome. In no part of the information that PAX has presented about this event did they mention at any point, in any way, shape, or form, vaccines and being vaccinated. Now, I can't tell you if what the state of, Harold's hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that. I can't tell you what the state of Washington says about that. I can't tell you what the lawyers for Reed, the people that put on PAX, have said about that. I don't know any of that. I just can tell you from common sense that if you can't require people to be vaccinated to come to PAX, you should at the very least say on somewhere on your website, hey, we think people should be vaccinated. Please be vaccinated. You should be, if you can physically, if illness does not prevent you from doing it, you should get vaccinated. It would be nice if they said that. They don't say that. It was, I said, it would be nice if they did. There is no mention of vaccination at all. The real thing about it is forget for a moment the crowds, the idea of trying to somehow negotiate moving around we're telling people not to touch each other. Harold just cheered 50 bits. Thank you so much, Harold. Appreciate that. Thank you for the bits. Always appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, the fact that all those things. Hey, PAX is a video game convention. People are going to be on the show floor playing video games. And then what? When they get up, are you saying that the people who run the booths are going to be sterile, like wiping down controllers, wiping down keyboards? should there even be playable demos? But will people like look at playable demos? You can't possibly have Indie Mega Booth, can you? I don't think you can, but I also don't think you should. So I don't know. But is it PAX without the Indie Mega Booth and without like, well, at least we have a whole rotation of PAXs before East. Yeah, I mean, I joked about this, but I honestly thought that PAX South was going to be the first one because Texas doesn't give a shit. I kind of thought Washington did, but I guess they don't enough. Um, Look, I definitely don't want to be the guinea pig. Yeah, I mean, okay, so uh, this is how Aristophan says this is Disneyland, which is, California, stated the state of California strongly recommends that all guests be fully vaccinated or receive a negative COVID-19 test prior to entering the Disneyland resort. Notice how they put it on the state and not themselves. Seems like PAX leaves that. Yeah, Aristophan, they should say, hey, the state of Washington would love it if you were vaccinated. Would be a fucking great thing for them to say, and they don't say that, and I think that fucking sucks. I don't care about the legality. I don't care about that. Look, you're by buying a ticket to PAX, you are agreeing that you aren't going to sue them if you get COVID, and also if you don't pass the temperature check at the convention center, they won't let you in, and you can't get a refund. And I think that's fine because you are taking a ridiculous risk to come. So sure, you should be dealing with that. I actually find those things fine. It's the very notion of having it that is weird to me. And I don't like the idea of it. Uh, and I don't think they should be doing it. Now, all of that being said, I do have to say, in the same instance, my feeling on this is the same as my feeling. I've tweeted this, but I'll tell you. The same way that I feel about New York Comic Con and Anime NYC, two events that I have been to before that I was planning on going to last year, but that got canceled due to COVID. Um, Along with PAX, I was going to go to PAX West last year, probably. I hadn't figured out how, but I wanted to. Um, the idea of those events and me going to those events, I certainly don't want to. But if work occurs, if an offer for me to go out there to work, to do things, to work a booth, to work events comes up, I will have to consider them because it is very hard to turn down work. Um, uh, and that sucks, but that's my decision. In the same way that anyone that chooses to go for their work, I'm mad at their work, not them. If somebody from uh, GameSpot is like, hey, you're going to PAX. Like, I'm not mad at the person. I'm mad at GameSpot. If somebody, if a company, mid tier, big tier, small tier says, hey, part of your job is going to events. We're doing this event. I'm, I'm not mad at the person. I'm not mad at the guests for choosing to go to this. If you are, if you are a developer, if you are doing panels, I mean, theoretically, if everyone on the panel is vaccinated, you could keep your distance, ask people not to approach after, say, hey, I can't meet people in the lobby. I apologize. You could theoretically be safe-ish doing that. I don't think you should, but you could. There are people who just do the hotel stuff. They just do panels. I don't know how you wait in line for a panel without it being clumped up together with people and how you do that safely. I don't know how you do that. Um, it would be a strange thing that I could also see myself doing if I was going to PAX and wanted to promote a panel. Uh, I could see myself doing that. I don't think I will, but I could see myself doing it. Um, it's real weird and real strange, and I don't love it. But yeah, I mean, my genuine belief is they shouldn't. Like, I'm not gonna reach out to my contacts at Reed and go, because my contacts at Reed don't get to decide if they're doing PAX or not. They they don't get to choose. I'm not even gonna bother being like, hey, it's weird that you're doing this. I'm gonna, instead, I'm going to be like surprised that it's happening and hopeful that everyone ends up being safe and can be as safe as possible. Um, because I don't fucking know what's going to happen otherwise. I hope everyone gets to be safe and has a good time and plays some game. Like, I'm just so worried for all the indie people that fucking need an event like that want that event, that didn't see their numbers do well last year at the online one, that aren't expecting this online one to, really kill it, that are just like, I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah, I don't know. Um, so basically, uh, I had joked about this, but it's true because people are like, every time there's a PAX, people ask me like, "Oh, are you gonna do League of Heels?" Well, I can tell you one definite thing. Even if I go to PAX, I'm not doing League of Heels there. There's no way I would do a League of Heels in this environment. Because I wouldn't want that many people together. I wouldn't. I would probably do a socially distanced improvised post-mortem where I didn't make people go up to the podium. They just stayed at their microphones, and I only booked like 4 people. I would do that. I would do like 2 guests for Pat Bear's Anime Club and really spread us out. Um, but I haven't really heard people's thoughts. Like, look, Loading Ready Run has said they're not going to go. Um, I imagine. I imagine Chris Straub will go. He lives in Seattle. I imagine he'll go. The PAX convention circuit is a big income thing for him, selling stuff. So I feel like he'll go. I mean, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I do feel like he'll be there. Um, Giant Bomb. I don't think Giant Bomb, any representative of Giant Bomb, is going to be going. With one of them possibly moving, but definitely having another child. Uh, and then one of them moving to Atlanta right now, and then another. I mean, liking PAX went to the last one that they went to, but don't think he's gonna go. I mean, like I'm not putting words in Jan's mouth, but I feel like Jan's not fucking going. I don't think we see GB at PAX again. Period. So Lashbrook, I could see it. I could see as they are playing around with what Giant Bomb is. I could see some young folks coming in to represent. Like Danny did PAX. Danny O'Dwyer has done PAX. Danny O'Dwyer could go and represent Giant Bomb along with one Giant Bomb person. I could see Jan going again. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them at some point. I don't think I'm going to see Jeff at a PAX in the for a very long time. Until he gets nostalgic. I don't think so, but other folks possibly. Um, could happen. Uh, it was very fun to see Danny there. But yeah, I mean, I could see a few people like wanting to go. Um, now maybe in the position Bacalar is in, he shows up at a PAX East in the future. I don't know. It's possible. Could happen. Uh, it's a possibility. I don't want to speculate. Um, but yeah, I think like the games journalists that I know, I don't think I will see again. I think I will see game devs I know will be around. But like, also, I'm not surprised LR isn't going. I don't think any of the Canadians I know have their second shot yet. Yeah, I mean, it's travel restrictions. It's getting out of the country. It's getting back in the country. It's an easy, just like, I mean, I forget which of them said, but like, it may have been Graham just talking about like, oh no, it was Ben. Ben was like, the idea of being in the moon base seems weird to me, let alone going to PAX. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. The guy who would be most likely to go to PAX any other time, that likes traveling and seeing people and doing meetups, it makes total sense to me that he would be like, yeah, it's weird. The idea of like going into our office is weird, let alone traveling. So I get that. I want to talk about this briefly. Talking about a model kit seems like whatever. We'll talk about model kit. These are new legs. This leg design is new. This like knee joint is new here. Um, and like parts of it. This is still very much a Gundam ass, Gundam wing ass Gundam, but some of this is new, and I'm enjoying it. I think we'll see more of this as we start building these kits. I don't remember this from the heavy arms, but yeah, this isn't bad. I'm liking how this leg works. But yeah, we're getting a lot of mobility here in the knee, which we normally do. But I'm enjoying this. We'll work on the other one here in a second. I'm going to get a little panel lining done. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Don't be surprised if you see me at a convention this year, but it'll be because I'm working it, not because I'm hanging out. I mean, I might try to do a panel. Like if I'm going and I've already resigned myself that I'm going, then sure. But I'm doing the safe PAX, by which I mean I did a panel for PAX Online, and it'll go up, and I'll be in the PAX Discord, chatting with people in the PAX 2 room while it is playing and answering questions and being hyped along with people. But I'm not, yeah, I'm not like figuring out where I could stay so I can go to Seattle. I mean, I have a few Seattleites, but yeah, that's a thing. Like, hearing Mary Kish on the most recent Nextlander podcast talking about traveling and going to surprise her dad for Father's Day, and like being on a plane. Like it just reminded me that I'm like, I don't fucking miss that shit at all. I don't miss planes. I was on a plane last year on July when I moved here, and that is the last flight I have been on, and that's the longest I've gone without a flight in a very long time, because it's almost been a year. And I'll tell you, definitely don't fucking miss planes. Like I don't miss that shit at all. It is pretty great to not be flying or having a reason to fly. I'm pretty psyched about it. I've been pretty goddamn psyched about that. Let's see where we are here. So yeah, that's it. Look, if anybody goes, cool. If Asmo, who lives in Seattle, we haven't seen Asmo here on the stream in a bit, but Asmo rules. If Asmo chooses to go, we'll be like, yeah, have fun, Asmo. Do your best, but it probably won't be me. Now, could I be persuaded to maybe go to PAX Unplugged if that happens in December? Maybe I could get up to Philly. I don't think I'm going to do that. I could be, like I said, I could be convinced. I have reached out to people being like, hey, are you doing cons? Do you need me? Is that a thing? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Just being like, I'm trying to get people's vibes on like, are you going? What's up? Have you even thought about it? What's happening? I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at. Let's see. At some point, I got to learn about the name of the next kit I'm building because I don't know exactly how to say it. The Space Johnanum. See, I just say it weird. The Space Johnanum is the next kit we'll be building. It's a mobile suit that looks very much that it's inspired by Zaku, because it definitely fucking is. But it is from G-Reco, the only Gundam anime I haven't built a kit from. The only thing besides that are a couple manga that have kits out there that I haven't built. But this when I build that, I will build something from every Gundam anime. It finally happened. I had to spend 30 something dollars to buy a high grade of a mobile suit from an anime I haven't seen, just so I could say that. But we're getting there. We're almost there, which is awesome. It actually caught me by surprise because I realized, I was like, I probably built something from every Gundam series at this point, right? And then I went and looked it up, and I was like, oh, I haven't built anything from, at the time, I hadn't built anything from Gundam Age and G Reco. And then I built a kit from Gundam Age. And so I was like, well, I guess I got to find a G Reco kit. And that's a Reconquista in G. But it's very hard to say that name, so I don't. Reconquista in G. How you say it, I think. All right, did I do this leg right? Is that right? No. Wait, yes. Sorry. I had this on the wrong leg. My bad. I had this on the wrong part of the leg. How y'all doing out there on the internet? I feel like I haven't checked in with you. You know, yesterday was a little hectic. We had a bunch of people here. I was very happy to have that. Have a bunch of people in chat. That was lovely. So nice to see everybody hanging out as we played some Jackbox games. It was a very fun birthday. It was very nice. But yeah, how y'all doing out there? And then what's going on with me? I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole of like more tech YouTubers. I've been watching some like Australian tech YouTubers, and they're fine. Like nothing like super great to report. Like they're mostly just like something to have on while I do other things, which is what I'm constantly looking for. I don't know. Yeah, nothing to really to write home about, but they're out there doing their thing. Uh, I've been trying to find a new thing for me to be obsessed with on YouTube, but I haven't found it yet. Uh, I am still looking for, because I hope someone out there does it. I do want a YouTuber who just talks shit about like the builders and restoration YouTube, and how some of them seem like they don't know what they're doing. Still looking for that, because I do think that a lot of them are bad. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like trying. I've been finishing up a lot of anime shows. I've been trying to go back to some of the ones. I'll do a wrap up, basically like um Saturday. I will be fit. Saturday will be the end of all the shows I've been watching. So Saturday will be let's see. So Saturday I will be finishing up talking about Soma Spider So What. I've been killing slimes for 300 years, max of my level, and welcome to Demon School Irmakun. Demon School Irmakun hasn't finished up, but I will just continue to watch it. But it's Spider and killing slimes will wrap up. And then I'm just gonna, that next Monday, because nothing new will start next Monday, will be like me talking about shows that are wrapping up. Harold wants you to ring the bell, and I will ring the bell, Harold. Thank you for using your channel points. And let's hear how this sounds into a microphone. There you go. I rewatched Road Quest earlier this week. It's the closest thing to a road trip for me this summer. Totally, Harold. Dirty also wants me. Hey, Dirty. There you go. Enjoy. Rang that bell. Yeah, Road Quest by Looney Ready Run. It's a fantastic series. I rewatched that around Christmas time. That is a fun series. And yeah, I mean, like I'm definitely not going on much road trips. Driving to get food yesterday was the first time I've been in a vehicle for a hot minute. It's been a little while. Some days there are just days where just nothing happens with that. Okay, so now we can get these parts. We're slowly getting everything together here. Gotta get this drunk out of there. But yeah, so Monday's stream, I will be talking about some of the anime shows that I have been watching, but not weekly. I might talk about one on Saturday, but I think I'll probably just focus on the 3 shows. But I do have, thoughts on some shows that I have watched. And then next Wednesday, folks, hey, next Wednesday, 6 days away. Next Wednesday is the recording of um, Pat Bear's Anime Club live. It'll be a stream, live on stream, where I'll be talking about anime, of course. But I'll be talking about the spring season, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I didn't watch that I, should have, and the then I'll be doing my preview of the summer anime, or as I like to call it, oh wow, there's all these isekai, because this summer there's all this isekai. It's a lot. It's a fucking lot. And then there's one that I was like, oh cool, that's coming out. That's not. There's an isekai that I'm excited about that is coming actually in the fall. Uh, Hot Isekai Summer. Aristophan, it might be Hot Isekai Summer because like, look, there's at least one that I'm like, I bet this sucks. And there's one that I'm like, I bet this is generic. But like, there's at least two that I'm like, ooh, okay. The pharmacy one, the guy that gets a pharmacy. There's the realistic hero one where he ends up like trying to strengthen this country through economic power. I think that's kind of interesting. Um, there is might be okay, but also could be full of dirty jokes and not fun. Like bad dirty jokes is the guy that gets isekai and then the goddess that did it rejects him because he's like, actually, you're ugly, get out of here. So he's kind of doing it. He's like on a revenge mission. Um, there's like a few that I'm like, Black Company could be okay. The lazy person that gets isekai'd to be basically slave labor in a mining thing, and then like kind of has to lead a revolution uh, that like could be good. So there's like a bunch of isekai, and there's also the second season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime season, or the second part of season 2 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime, which I'll be watching. Welcome to Demon School Irmakun is an isekai that's continuing, so I'll be watching that because I like that show. And then also, let me see here, how does this go on? Go on like this, or no, goes on with the shelf on the bottom. Got it. Um, and then also the isekai I won't be watching because I hated the first season is season 2 of I'm Standing on a Million Lives because that first season sucks, and so I don't want to watch the second season. I respect their decision to have a character who is very unlikable as your lead and seems to reject every attempt to better themselves. I respect that, but I also doesn't make it for a good experience, and I didn't enjoy it. So I'm not going to continue with that show. But as I said, I do respect them for just making an anime about a dude that just fucking sucks. Because that dude just fucking sucks. And that's kind of cool that they did that. All right, our last pieces here for the legs, except for the, gonna get the connector pieces here for the joints, but getting there. Working on this Deathscythe. I do enjoy this Deathscythe quite a bit. I like these new parts in the legs. That's new for this kit, which I appreciate. It's a nice little system. Sometimes the knees, the knee armor here on a Deathscythe doesn't fit well and doesn't look right. This looks good. This looks good and fits well. And yeah, we'll finish that up there. And I do know what we're building next. As I said, it is a G-Reco kit. That'll be the next kit. I did a poll for my $10 patrons, and that won. Sometimes my $10 patrons don't actually vote, and I don't know if it's like there was an issue or that it was just like whatever. So that one won by one vote, or with one vote. So that's what I'm going to build. I settle ties. I'll say that. Sometimes my $10 patrons like don't know, the vote ends up being a tie on the options I give them, and I just break the tie with whatever I actually want to work on. And I did want to work on that because I do want to say that I have built a kit from every anime in every Gundam anime. And now I will be able to say that, which is very silly. Every anime that has a Gundam kit, which I believe is every one, but no garage kits. And yeah, there's manga things that haven't come out yet, or there's manga that have never had an anime, or sorry, a model kit. Okay. All right. Gonna clean this up here. We will take a pause for the calls in a little bit. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, do all that stuff. Um, you know, go through my ad reads as I like to call them. And then the second hour we'll talk about the many cool anime that have wrapped up. I said one of the shows that I wasn't talking about weekly, but I finished. Um, I'll just say that because I'll probably talk about it on next Wednesday. Was speaking of bad isekai, was How Not to Summon a Demon Lord Q, which was the second season of How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, and just bad. That's just a bad show. Fun idea. I don't mind the isekai that are this person was a gamer and then have been isekai inside of the character that their avatar into a world that is somewhat similar to what they had but different. It's maybe it's me. I mean, I'm still me, but like I don't know. I think these shows that are gross horny, I'm just not here for. Like I don't know. Like I didn't watch Full Dive because I'm just like the premise of I'm playing this VR MMO that was created to be the most difficult VR MMO ever that like everyone hates and like out of spite I'm going to beat it, although it's not out of spite. The dude has been promised like a woman has enticed him to do it. So it's not even out of spite. Like if it was just like, I'm going to do like and then there's sorry, I'm jumping all over the place when I'm talking about this, but there's just a lot of shit about it that sucks. That the whole thing. There's a lot of like characters who are not cool. Uh, I don't really have time for yandere like oh this the childhood friend and he rejected her and now she's definitely gonna kill him. Like yeah, I don't care about that as a premise for a show. Just like no thanks, I'm good. There's a bunch of stuff this season that I was just like nah, I'm good. The one that I've got to get caught up on is that I got to push through because the mech fights look so cool and it's weird to watch to go through another season without watching any mecha anime. I'm gonna fucking bite my tongue and get caught up on SSSS Daizinon, uh, the somewhat sequel to Gridman because Gridman turned out to be great, but this one it's just the thing where shows by the anime production company Trigger uh start off very Trigger and then they kind of get settled into whatever they want to do and then there are like moments where it's too much of this fucking company and they need to fucking relax and I hate them. They don't always do that, but they often do that. And this show just started with it put a bad taste in my mouth and then I hear it gets better and people are really enjoying it, but that's just a company that I just don't think I like what they make. I think B&A was fine. I think B&A could have been incredible, and they really blew it. I think Gridman is really good despite who made it. Um, so it's tough. Darling in the Franxx is bad. Darling in the Franxx is bad. It's just garbage. Um, Witch School Academia is good. Little Witch Academia, not Witch School. Little Witch Academia is very good. That's probably my favorite of their stuff. Um, there's a lot of heart and a lot of reasons to like Kill la Kill, but also Kill la Kill is fucked up in a lot of ways that people like to pretend it isn't, so they can be excited about it. Uh, and I'm not a big fan of it. Uh, so yeah, as a whole, that studio I am mostly misses for me. But what are you gonna do? Okay. Also, I saw one of those Watch Mojo lists, which is my fault. I fucked up by watching a Watch Mojo list, but it was like biggest anime like bombs, and some of the anime things they looked at were bombs and things that did poorly, but their definition of bombs was just to get clicks, I think, because they included shows that did very well critically and financially, but were bad adaptations, or maybe they weren't critically well received, but they did very well. They were not bombs. And I was like, use your words right. You don't mean bomb. You mean disappointed fans. Hey, Jam, welcome. Because they included God of High School, the God of High School, which was a commercial success and people really liked it. Now, critically was well received. Now, who didn't like the God of High School? People that read the original webtoon, the that watched the read the original comic didn't like it. Just finished putting new LEDs in my TV. Pain in the ass. Yeah, Jam, that sounds like a pain in the ass. Putting LEDs in there. Yeah. That sounds like a real pain in the ass. I think it sounds like something I would not want to do. But welcome. Happy you're here now. Uh, but yeah, the God of High School, apparently, they really rushed it. They really, it felt like a fast paced show. It didn't feel bad. This is always the thing I've said of that. Hearing from people that they were disappointed in it, I'm like, well, I didn't read the book, so I'm not disappointed in it. And maybe if I read the book, I would really enjoy reading the comics and I would be like, oh, yeah, they really did rush this. But since I didn't read it, it's not a disappointment. It's a good show. The fighting is fantastic. The animation is really great. The music is good. The characterization is really fun. Is it probably a little too fast paced? Sure. Am I missing something in it? I'm probably missing something. There's probably some good shit that I just didn't get to watch because they couldn't do a double length series for whatever reason. But I still think it's fucking great. So it's one of those things where I was like, I shouldn't be watching this because I am just disagreeing with what they're saying about like, it's like, yeah, you could say that and I also I have said that without watching it, I know that people were very bummed with the second season of Promised Neverland. Um, but also you could include the part where that it was going to be very hard to satisfy anyone because the source material it wasn't going to be what they wanted. Now, there are plenty of people who've read the source material that are like, "Oh no, but the second arc, the arc they skipped is so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it wasn't like the first arc. That's the actual problem." It's a rare instance where The Promised Neverland did better than they perceived it. It got a huge international following, and the people that produced it were very surprised about that. They did not expect it to do as well as it did, and they decided they had painted themselves into a corner because a thing that happens with manga is monks not all of them, but most manga writers just write the story and they don't write it that can be broken up into 12 episodes or 13 episodes. They just write their story and then they finish an arc and then they move on to the next arc if they're lucky. And most of them just think about things week to week with some planning. Uh, so Promised Neverland season 2, they jumped a whole story because that story they didn't think they could do an anime of and people would like because it was really different. So they jumped to later in the story to try to finish the story, hoping that the material that they were doing would be similar enough to the first season that people would stick around. And the people that like went along for the ride on the manga were bummed, and the people that watched the first season and they hadn't read the manga were bummed. And I think the only option they really truly had was to not make it, to just make it one season of an anime and always know that people were always going to bring up how they wish there had been more of it and there should have been more of it and there was all this material to adapt and they just should have never adapted it because there wasn't going to be a way to make a season 2 that people would have liked, because the best thing you could have done was adapt the story that had been presented, and that would have turned off a lot of people that would have been like, this is nothing like the first season, because it wasn't like the first season. It was different. And that was the only, like, Fateful wasn't probably going to work, so they didn't do it. And what they didn't work for anyone either. So that I don't think they could have won. I don't think there was a way to win that fight, which is rough. It's fucking very rough to say, but to me, that's the truth. There was no way to make anyone happy with what happened. Okay, so fit. It just says fit. Fit is such a weird thing to say. This is the back of the waist that I got to put on here, and this is where you can put the. You can see there's a hole there. I can slide the scythe handle in there, which I never do, because if I'm going to display this kit, it's always going to be with the scythe in hand. Because why would I not do that? All right, we're going to take a pause. We're going to get back to the waist and then get this body complete in a moment or two. But hi, I'm Pat, and this is Build With Baer Workshop, and I'm glad you're here. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. You were under no obligation to do any of these things. Sorry, I have to reach for my keyboard so I can actually get at it. You don't have to do any of the things I'm going to mention here. If you would like to do any of these things to support what I do and me, that would be rad. But you don't have to do any of this. I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. It's all optional. Don't worry about it. If you'd like to, that kicks ass. If you're currently Air is here. I've been out of town a while. Curious what Pat's thoughts on Next Lander are. Ignore is the retro to prior discussions, though. Pause for the cause. Indeed, we are the pause for the cause, Air. My general thoughts on Next Lander is I'm glad that my friends have something to do. I'm happy for them. I hope it works out. Dang, they did very well on Patreon, and that's great. I also have not watched any of their live streams except for one where they, during E3, I watched them, and because I was trying to watch everybody that I liked once, because so many people I knew were doing E3 stuff, so I watched one day of them. But overall, very excited for Next Lander, and hope that they continue to do great. Again, let's throw the Barricade leg of the Scythe mode if you're a subscriber. Let the people know these are the cool emotes that Xandra made for me, and you get these emotes. Aristovan's a tier 2 subscriber, so you know, you can use the scythe emote there. Everybody else gets the bear cape and the Lego emote. Appreciate you very much for being a subscriber. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that gift sub into a regular subscription, and they won't charge you until your gift sub expires. You can use your Prime gaming token if you're Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch. You can you get that token, use it for me. Cash money, of course. You could gift a sub. Do you want to gift a sub? You could to somebody in this community right now. You could gift a subscription if you wanted to. You join the leaderboard there for a couple days until it resets. You could also cheer. We had Frosty cheer yesterday, and Harold has cheered a bunch, which really appreciate. Bits and coins, always appreciate it here. I have a Patreon. You could join my Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear is how you do that. I'm going to put that. If you're watching this later after the fact, you'll find all of this in the show description on YouTube, or you can find this in the chat if you're watching the VOD later. But yeah. Oh, and Air just gifted a sub. So Levatronica, you now have gifted a sub. So thank you very much, Air. For gifting that sub. Appreciate that. Welcome to the leaderboard, and welcome, Leva. Hope you enjoy using some emotes and not seeing ads before you jump in the stream. But yeah, we'll put some emotes in the chat there. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and a $10 tier. Please take a look at it, see if there's some level that would be great for you. There are rewards for each tier, and maybe there'd be something that would pique your interest. I mentioned that I have a YouTube, youtube.com/PatBear. Subscribing there is free, of course, and I encourage you to do so. I make videos every Wednesday and every other Monday. I put a video up there, so you can come check that out. But also, you can join my YouTube. If you want to get a video one day early over there on Tuesdays, you get the Wednesday video, and it's $2 over there. Everything I make through AdSense from Google, through Patreon, and through Twitch goes into buying model kits. This kit that I purchased here, I pre-ordered this thanks to money that I had in my account from those services. Um, Also, direct donations. If you want to send me something to my Coffee or my Streamlabs or my PayPal, Streamlabs and Coffee will show up here in this tab in the overlay. I don't have that set up for PayPal. I don't know if I can. But yeah, if you want to donate to one of those, you're more than welcome to do that. That is a way to support what I do, is via the wonderful world of direct donations, and that goes into the fund that buys kits and equipment. Now, speaking of model kits, the next thing I'm building is something I bought with those funds, which is great. But here's the thing. There's a way to get something that you want to see me build to jump the queue. And that is by buying something off my Amazon wishlist. If you buy something on my wishlist, I will shoot a video about that kit, talking about it and thanking you in person if you include information about who did it. Sometimes people are anonymous, and that's fine. And then it jumps the line. When I finish a kit, the next kit I build will be from my wish list if something's in. Otherwise, my $10 patrons choose what I do next from a list I give them. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff here. I've got Lego sets. I've got in my wish list. I've got high grades and master grades, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits with free Amazon Prime shipping, kits that don't have that free shipping, the 2 to 3 day shipping. Oh, and we just had 5 new gifted subs. You're paying forward the gift by gifting some subs. That's so great. You actually gifted, 5 subs to Jay Leska, Suki, Arian, Sits with the Beer, enjoy that, and Go Board. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego the Scythe emote in the chat. Thank you for paying that gift sub forward with even more gift subs. That's so generous of you. I appreciate that very much. Oh, and Glenn's here too. Welcome, Glenn. So yeah, you buy something from my Amazon wish list. It comes to me. I put some gear at the bottom of it. I always like to put gear, and then I have just model kits. So jump in on that if you'd like. We're going to continue talking about ways you can support the channel. Alternatively, you could buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, you buy a gift card. They send you an email with that gift card code. Then you send me a DM on Twitter. My DMs are open, so you can send me a DM there with the code, and then I will buy something. Maybe it'll be a pre-order. Maybe it'll be me just being like, hey, yeah, what would you like me to get on USA Gundam Store? And you can look at that and go, you should get this thing because I just sent you some money. You got options. The Live Lance that I just pre-ordered came from funds directly about getting something for USA Gundam Store. So those are things. Now, if you like to support me and not spend any money, you could definitely do that. You could go to my Discord, which is free. I post build photos at the end of every stream. I post links to all my videos that I make that I put up on my YouTube. People post stuff that they're working on. It's a great little community. Sometimes there's not a post in a day. There are days where nobody posts, and that's totally okay. Sometimes one person just goes like, what's up, Bear fam? And I'm like, hello. It's also very, very kind of them to do that. But yeah, I've got a Discord. You can join that. I'm going to link you a couple of videos I think you should check out, and then we're going to get back to building. The most recent Pat Bear's Anime Club. I'm proud of it. I'm talking about 4 queer anime shows. Lego Dino incoming. Thank you, Air. I appreciate that very much. I will keep an eye out. But thank you very much for picking up something off my Amazon wish list, which will, when I finish something, I will build it off that wish list. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I talked about 4 queer anime because it is still Pride. Happy Pride, everybody. And I thought it would be fun to talk about some queer anime shows. The last time I did a video about queer anime, I focused too much on lesbian and gay relationships. And I didn't focus enough about the other... I appreciate that. I didn't talk enough about the other members of the queer family out there, the other letters in the queer rainbow. And so this video of Pat Bear's Anime Club, I talked about some great representation of trans characters. Either the show is about the characters and their trans, or it is just that there's a cool trans character in it. And then I talked about a non-binary character that prefers to not be referred to by either gender and uses it interchangeably, maybe gender fluid, but definitely non-binary. And also, I talk about a bisexual show that maybe is pushing it to call it a queer show, but I think it's definitely like very, very like bisexual harem energy with the big bi energy in that show. So check that video out. I'm proud of that one. I think it's good. I hopefully you'll walk away with a show you can watch, even though one of them that I recommend is hard to find on the internet, unfortunately. But you can find it if you look hard enough, or if you're okay with buying DVDs. And then also, Bear With Me. This week's Bear With Me. I watched somebody who modified a computer fan, and I got really nervous for that person because it looked like it was a real janky mess. But it's a quick little video. It's my first video with this new microphone, and so it's just like, I don't know, it's a fun little one. I'm trying to do a little bit longer Bear With Me's, but that one was good. So that video source was very fun. I thought it was good. All right, so I'm going to get back to model kit building. We are going to talk about some anime. I'm going to drink some water because that would be great. Drinking water would be really good. And then you can get ready to hang out with me as I talk about those things. New microphone and headphones. Yes, Air. I do have a mic now, which was bought off my Amazon wishlist, which is incredible. I got the whole arm kit, so I've been getting used to that. And then I have headphones that are regular old headphones because I don't need to use headphones that have a mic in them. I don't need a headset mic anymore, which is fine. But yeah, I'm still getting used to that. This is a whole process right now. Okay, let's go back to the overhead. Oh wait, move my keyboard out of the way. I got to start doing that now. I saw an SSD on your wish list, but it's not available for your selected seller. Ooh, Air. That's good to know. It may just not be. I'm going to go to my Amazon list and take that off. So sometimes that happens. You put something on your wish list, and whoever was selling it only has a limited number. So I'm going to take that off my list, and I will eventually put up an SSD from a seller that allows people to actually buy it. But thank you for letting me know. I'm going to go and take that off for now. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yep, that is not on there. So I'm going to take that off. Eventually, I'll put an SSD up in there that maybe... I try to keep track of that, folks. With model kits, sometimes, it says, like, here are your options because it's just not available. But they come back up because someone else sells it. But tech equipment is a little fleeting and a little harder to keep up on there. But I do try to keep active with it. Because eventually, I would like to get a new, better SSD than the one I have, which is a small SSD that I bought when I built this computer several years ago, thinking that it would be temporary and I would get a better one, and I just never fucking did. And now I need definitely a bottleneck on this computer is the SSD that I currently have. So I am trying to figure out ways to improve that. All right, we got one sticker left. You just pick one out, buddy. Well, I appreciate that, Eric. I will be adding that to the list. I won't be doing it now, but I will be adding that to the list. So, because I got to get back to building. I can't be looking on Amazon for something to put on my wish list, but I will put that on my wish list because I would like to get that. I just can't do it right now because I got to keep working on this model kit and talk with all of you. And I got to talk about anime. All 4 shows that I'm going to be mentioning right now all had their last episodes this week. They're all over. Some of them I feel like, and some of them I'm like, yeah, all right. Slime Diaries. If you watched the first season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime and you were like, this show is great. And then you watched, knocking my microphone. Then you watched season 2 and the first half of season 2 and you were like, that's weird. It just got dark and kind of like bullshit. Well, let me tell you, the Slime Diaries is a great reminder of all the cute and fun stuff that happens in season 1 of that show. So you might want to check it out. Um, in this episode, there's a whole like, oh well, Milliam, who is the dragon, she's the she is born of the dragons and is one of the demon lords, one of the oldest demon lords, if not the oldest. I can't remember, but she's one of the demons. Mike. Well, thank you so much, Air. Uh, Microphone mount should be coming to you in a few days. I fully support the upgrades. I appreciate that. So yeah, right now I'm using this arm here for my model kit streams, but for when I'm recording things for audio wise, or if I'm guesting on something, I would prefer to have a different mount for this microphone than this arm. This arm I think is good for this, so I can get underneath it, but it's not. It's kind of unwieldy for day-to-day recordings, or like, yeah, I'm doing a Zoom for a business thing. So I wanted to have options. So I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Um, all right, so I got to put this. This is the last sticker we got to put on here. It's the crotch sticker. It is the Deathscythe crotch sticker. But I appreciate that very much, Air. Thank you for your support. But yeah, been upgrading here and there. Small upgrades that should hopefully make a big difference. So it was all New Year's activities in this one. They made a shrine because that's a big thing. So a lot of this stuff is like takes on the Japanese traditions of like going to a shrine New Year's Day and making a wish. But it's very funny because they're like, well, he's like, yeah, so we made a shrine, but who are we like worshiping? Who's the deity that we're gonna worship? Is it like Veldora the dragon? And they're like, well, no, it's you, of course. And so Rimuru has to sit for a while on this cushion as people come up and offer prayers, and then like to him basically. And then there's a very cute hobgoblin that like gives him a little like wave, just be like, hey, which I thought was just very cute. Oh, of course, Milliam is in a Utica, which is very cute. Let's see, other things that happen. There's like a bunch of small little things. They do the first calligraphy of the year, and this is fun because you don't see the dreams and wishes like drawing with calligraphy. You don't see that in a lot of anime. For some reason, that doesn't show up in anime adaptations that often. But it's still cool, like a very cool thing. So they all kind of write theirs. I love that Ranga the wolf just like rips his paper, which is very funny. Um, oh, and Gabaru wants to start a theater troupe, which I just think is fucking awesome and like such a good character gag for him to want to start that. There's some fun stuff. The big boys of Tempest pound some mochi, and then Guild takes extra good care of the mochi to make it delicious to feed all the little kids, which is just so cute. Guild wants to take care of all the kiddos. Let's see. Rimuru reflects on the year. It's implied that the first meeting of the year will be the repeat of the first episode, because it's been a year of the show. And then, yeah, it's just cute and fun. Now, it's fun to be like, oh yeah, and then, like in a week or two, the new season starts, and then Rimuru is just gonna like continue to just murder a lot of shit. Well, technically, he did a lot of murdering the first half of season 2. The second half of season 2, because I've read the manga, is a lot of like meetings about and deciding what they're gonna do, and some battles, but plenty of meetings of just like, okay, well, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. We gotta like kill this thing. A lot of like, hey, we're gonna be fighting a bunch of things. It's a lot. All right. Anyway, let's get the last parts on this to body complete the Deathscythe. As I talk about one of my favorite shows this season, the Saint's magic power is omnipotent. After I drink some water because I didn't at the break. All right. Now I'm going to tell you about The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent, which is a fantastic show. And I'm very much looking forward to telling you about the last episode. Um, they're in the forest. They're fighting these monsters. Say is working on her magic powers. You know, the magic. The secret of the magic is love because she's found love. She can do all these things, and she still hasn't like told Hawks that like, well, when I think about how much I love you, the magic works. Like she hasn't said that, which is cute. That she's just like, oh, I'm not talking about that yet. Um, uh, but it takes using the conjuring takes a lot of her reserve power. But they head out there with other people going along, and they got more mages with them. So maybe this time they're going to be okay because they gotta destroy the miasma and save everybody. Um, let's see. Everyone works pretty well together. They face a lot of slimes, but then some of the slimes combine into larger monsters, and that gives everyone trouble. Um, then Say puts herself in harm's way. Uh, but Drew saves her by using fire magic, like incredibly potent fire magic that's unfortunately really hurt the forest and really singed the place. And you got Leonhardt, uh uh the big hulking himbo, who's just like, oh no, the forest I grew up in. And it's a shame. And then so Say uses her powers and cleanses the area. Um but she manifests her powers and restores it. This was after a night where, like, Hawk's basically just like, hey, you know that I raise my sword for the king. Can I also do that for you? Can I put my life on the line for you? It is a proposal of sorts, and she accepts it. We don't hear her accept it, but she accepts it. And this is the closest thing we're going to get in this very lovely anime. Uh, this is the closest thing we're going to get to like acknowledgement of their relationship and her like accepting his feelings. Because it's a romance show, folks, but they're not going to necessarily like they're together. They're definitely together. Um, but yeah, it's basically a proposal. Um, and yeah, she manifests her powers and she restores the forest like new. She heals everything. But then she passes out. Uh, and she's like embarrassed because he's princess carrying her back. Like Hawks has her in his arms. And you even see Arya, the other isekai girl, is like she's embarrassed. She's blushing. Um, and that's and then she walks back with Hawks hand in hand. They're holding hands. And that is the show, except for the music plays and credits roll, and we see snapshots of future events. Say in a ball gown, Arya cooking a meal for Lionheart. When did they start talking? Ooh, scandalous. Uh, let's see. Say and Hawks dancing at the ball with everyone knowing they're a couple, and everyone's just like, oh, and they're like really into it. Um, let's see. Drew's not so subtly observing the couple because Drew's has kind of figured out that, oh, it's because of this relationship that her powers are manifesting. Cool. Um, let's see. Oh, gifts for the king from their trip. Uh, Arya and Liz reuniting, and the prince is there. Maybe he's not under house arrest anymore. Maybe he's been released from that. I don't know, but he's around. Um, and yeah, overall, this is one of my favorite shows of the season. I think this was a nice, like a fun wrap up episode. So, would I recommend the show? Totally. This is not your standard isekai fare. This is using the conventions of isekai to tell a romance story. In many ways, this is a old school, um, traditional, like early type of isekai. It's a little more akin to something like Fushigi Yugi than it is akin to like um, even that time I got reincarnated as slime, or like, yeah, or your standard like isekai cheat magician, like your standard kind of isekai. This is not that kind of story. This is a love story that happens to be set in a different world. Um, it's slow paced. It has action, but it is not overly full of action. But it's got a lovely little story, great characters, um, uh, great art. It's very beautiful looking. I highly recommend. The Saint's magic power is omnipotent. A plus show. Would recommend. Really enjoyed it. Um, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid short animation series, because Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S, which is the sequel series, is coming out like soon, next season. So they made this little short season to kind of like promote it. In this episode, they're little 1 minute mini episodes. Kobayashi doesn't want to eat Toru's tail, which is a thing that she always wants her, because her tail grows back and she's like, eat my tail. And I don't know why she says that, but she does. And then Kobayashi's like, no. So it's just Toru making a bunch of different food options that are either like too extravagant or too weird or too much. And then eventually she makes something that's just right. Uh, but yeah, it was a nice little way to remind myself of the characters I like about that show and get excited for the next season, which is, as I said, is starting, soon. We got a teaser for that coming out. So yeah, this is a short little thing. If you don't know who the characters are and you did not watch the first season, this would be a weird thing to watch, but it's good and I liked it. Let's see. Super Cub. Oh, I can't believe there's. I guess I'm gonna have to fucking read the manga because I want more adventures. I think there's more. There might be more. Super Cub's over, folks. This is my favorite show of the season by far, without a doubt, no question. My favorite show this whole season. This episode fucking kicked ass. So it's still winter, but at the southernmost tip of Japan, uh, the sakura blossoms have already fallen. The cherry blossoms. I'll probably call them cherry blossoms because it's just easier. But the cherry blossoms are already falling. And we're body complete on the kit, by the way. We did the backpack and we did the whole thing with its one rocket. This kit is built. We're now working on the scythe and the drone shield, and then we'll be done. But yeah, Super Cub. So yeah, so the girls are on winter break, and they're like, you know what, we're going, because in a previous episode, we had a an accident where, and she's been hating the winter on her bike, but she fell in the water in the river and was definitely shaken up and is definitely traumatized a bit, and is just looking if she wants it to be spring. So the plan is they load essentials into Koguma's Cub, and then Raiko got a seat big enough for two. She's got a two-seater on there, so she doesn't have her travel stuff. So they're going to try to travel light. They're going to stay at net cafes and business hotels, which is just, traveler hotels. And they're going to try to pack light. And we see that she's mom is really worried about this trip. This is probably the first time that she's ever done something like this. She's in high school, but hasn't been adventurous before, and she's going off with her friends that they like, but and also she's just days before had an accident. But also it's kind of nice just to have like parents, because we know that Raiko is like emancipated, and we know that according to her, Koguma doesn't have any family. So it's kind of interesting to just have like, you know, parents who worry checking in with them. It's nice. But they go on the road, and they head out. The background music is very light and kind of poppy. And she doesn't seem as nervous because she's on the two-seater and she's having a great time. Actually, everyone's having a great time. and they have lunch. And she's dad gave them a big loaf of bread, which they eat, which is very, very nice. And they have a good time. They go on a lovely trip. Uh, this is just mostly about them traveling. It's just like a fun last episode of like good times. Um, let's see, working on the Buster here. We gotta get that going. Um, let's see what else happens. Okay, so um, they get a room at a hotel with a view of Bawako Lake, which is this is a thing that I didn't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm learning this stuff as we go. This is apparently this lake houses a get together every year of cub owners, people that own cubs, the motorcycles they have. And apparently, some years they have over 400 cubs show up there. So they're like, we're going to come back here someday. And then they see the Sea of Japan. They pass sand dunes and windmills, and they get local crabs. They spend a night at the Net Cafe, which I knew they were going to do at least once because that is you can just get a room in a Net Cafe and then just not leave the room. You can just sleep there, and that just seems so weird, but that is something that people do, certainly. Um, and so they do that one night. This is all very fast because it's just one episode. They reach Cape Sada, which is the southernmost part of Japan, where they see the cherry blossoms, and they talk about why they came. And I had no idea Japan had sand dunes like that. Yeah, Lashbrook, the southern part of Japan has some wild shit. Like the coast of Japan down to where they ended up has some real interesting architecture, or not architecture, like natural landmarks. Like they passed like a not active volcano that's still like smoking a little bit though, like a semi-active a dormant volcano. Um, so it's very clear that getting here and seeing these cherry blossoms, like they get to see the cherry blossoms, that this did like a whole lot of good for she, like emotionally. She was just really beaten down by the winter. Uh, and they kind of talk about why they decided to come, and it was mostly to help out their friend, which is just very nice of them. And they wanted to do something cool. Also, the reason why Koguma agreed to go on this was because she wanted to push herself to the limit and see how far. Like they went to the southernmost part of Japan on their cubs, and that was like a big deal. Um, and then later, the thing that I was expecting might happen happened because she stopped spending money on the part of the cafe that she wanted to build. The reason why she did that is because she got herself a little cub, which is the type of super cub that she got. It's called a little cub. It this thing, if the other things look like a Vespa, this thing just looks like a fucking Vespa. But it's perfect for her, and she bought she spent like paid for half of it, and she's paying back her dad. And now the Cub Club has 3 members, official members. Um, and yeah, and she'll be able to buy equipment and travel and like carry that equipment around because she still wants to build her cool little thing. Wants to build her um, cafe part, like her Italian cafe section of the place that her dad and mom own. Uh, and in a voiceover, um, Koguma says that her cub is responded to her desire for change. Um, it not that it's not that the cub changed her life. The cub gave her the chance to change her life, but it responded to her desire for something new. And she's going to keep riding forever on her super cub. Like literally the last line of the show is, I'm going to keep riding forever on my super cub. And it hit me. Lashbury says, I really thought that would be a season 2 thing, assuming there was one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, that feels like a good end to season 1. Like maybe they skip some stuff just to give that ending there. But the idea that the third member, would get a cub. She needed a new bicycle, and instead she gets a cub. is just like I don't know. I think it's a beautiful way to end the show, um, to show how much that these girls have changed her as much as she's helped them. Like last episode, I had forgotten that the character that she was the character she riding her bicycle without trouble because she had a better bike was one of the final straws before uh, our girl Kogamung went and got her cub. Uh, yeah, it's just so sweet. I love seeing the three of them all biking. There were so many smiles in this episode as they're all riding and doing this cool, fun thing. There's so many lovely smiles on all their faces. Um, it was really cool. It's just a great episode. Just a lovely episode of a lovely show. I'm gonna miss this thing so much. I loved Super Cub. It's on Funimation. It comes with my highest possible recommendation. I truly love it. I think it's slow, but it is so just beautiful. And I think that you'll like it. Look, if you don't, if it, the first episode, if seeing her first smile doesn't win you over, then it's not going to be something that you're going to get into, and that's okay. You don't have to be into it. But I think if you don't respond to her first smile in that, I think that it's not for you, and that's okay. But um, if you do, if you're like, oh hell yeah, then I would say, you know, give it a shot. It's a gorgeous little series. Anyway, I got to take a photo of this because we are ready to we are done with our Deathscythe. This was the 2021 new release of the heavy arm, or sorry, the heavy arms came out last year. This is the Deathscythe, regular old Deathscythe. We got the heavy arms last year. We're getting more of these, I believe, soon. I'm gonna try to get everything in on this photo. Um, but yeah, that's the end of this kit and the end of the anime I want to talk about. As I said, I will have more stuff. I got 2 shows ending on this coming Saturday that I'll talk about, and then I've got new stuff to talk about, or stuff that I'm wrapping up on Monday. I'll kind of give like a brief thoughts on some shows uh, that have finished up that I was watching on my own time. Uh, and then I guess my final thoughts on I talked about yeah, I talked about a bunch of those things, but yeah, uh, I really hope there's a season 3 of Zombieland Saga because the second season ends incredibly. Like it's an unbelievable end to the second season. Like I can't fucking believe they did this. So I would love there to be a another season of the show because it ends on like one of the biggest anime cliffhangers I've ever fucking seen. So now we got the Jahanan, um, which we'll at least get organized. I don't know if we're gonna get started. We'll get started with it, I guess. We'll at least get organized. Unfortunately, in travel, a few of these pieces came off, so I am putting these aside. These dark green pieces here. Um, this is from G Reco, as I mentioned. This kit is from. Let me look up the year on this. This is from 2014, so I will say this is a pretty cool booklet. I really do like this. It's like here's the head, like it separates the sections in a way that I think is pretty neat. We do start with the head instead of starting with the chest, which often you start with the body unit instead of the head. But we're starting with the head here, working our way down to the waist. We're going to do the waist. We're literally, and then do the arms and the legs, which is cool. I like this for this high grade. But yeah, this is a Reconquista in G, or G Reco, as it is often called, and I will mostly go call it. This is the Grunt mobile suit, obviously heavily inspired by the Zaku. It does contain a few stickers here. We got a few stickers to put on. The sticker decals and the regular stickers here. And yeah. Oh yeah, so we got to put those on there. Unfortunately, there's like lots of text here that I can't read, but I think that's saying like put one or the other on here is what I think they're saying. But whatever, we'll figure it out. That's the head. Oh, I think that's the eyes. And then 2, maybe. Oh, the other side, maybe? Yeah, I think that's what it is. But yeah, we've got combinations of different things here. But yeah, that's the next thing we're going to be building. So I at least can get this organized. We can get a little bit of the head done. I won't even include the photo. We'll start talking about that on Saturday. But this is the next kit I'll be building. But yeah, a few pieces did pop out. I believe they are. Oops, sorry. I believe they are. Yes, you can see here like 3 pieces popped out of B. So that is a thing that I will be dealing with. B, C, that is C, and then E, D. Look at this neon. Look at that neon. Love that clear piece here for the head. Oh, absolutely lovely. And then this cool blade. Hell yeah, look at this cool blade. Oh, it's going to be fun. Yeah, we can at least get the head done here. We can get a little bit done on this kit. There's not a lot. I mean, this will be a pretty quick high grade, is my belief anyway. But yeah, we can get some of that started here. At least get like the head going. But yeah, next stream will be on Saturday. We got a little time left here on the stream. We are going to raid at the end of the stream too, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I gotta get some of these stickers on. I'll get a little bit of these stickers on, and then we'll wrap up. But we are going to raid, and then yeah, Saturday will be the next stream. So come back for that, where we continue to work on this kit, and then also I don't know what next we've got. I've got a bunch of kits here. I have the Barbatos high grade. I've got the Fire Dragon 3-in-1 Lego set, and see there. I've got the Earthry Gundam. And actually, the cool thing about the Earthry Gundam is that another kit we built before was had some clear parts, and it used the same sheet as this one. So I have some clear parts to put on this kit that aren't normally put on this kit, like from another tray that I saved because I figured I would build this at some point. So we're going to be customizing this kit, which I have not done in quite some time. And I got the Strike here high grade to build as well. I have all of those. They all arrived. And then it sounds like some people bought me some stuff for my birthday. And when those arrived, those jumped the queue as mentioned. So we'll be getting those even sooner. And we'll get to some of those. But those are the things in my backlog immediately. And then let's see, in late this month, but looks like it's probably going to be July, I'm getting the Full Mechanics Calamity Gundam because I pre-ordered that. So I believe that's coming in July. And then in August, I got the Crossbone and the Millennium Puzzle in August. October, I have the Ifrit Custom High Grade, which just looks rad as hell. So I got that coming. And the in November, I've got the Live Lance. And in January will be the Barbatorus. So those are coming out at those times. So I do have some stuff pre-ordered coming down the pike that I will be happy to build. All right. So this goes in like this, and there are some stickers I can put on here. I don't know if I'm going to. Oh, I should, because it's in the photo. I guess I should. Let's bring this photo up so we can look at it and see these lines that come in here, these sticker lines. Yeah. We only see the one that goes across. That's the only one on this we can actually see. Gives me a lot of options. I guess there's one that goes down the middle too. This is tough because there's like no English. So like it's like I guess I'm gonna do 3 down across the face and then maybe 1 down the middle. Yeah, I got these here. It's tough because it's like I said, it doesn't really do a good job of like telling me what I'm supposed to do with these. Mm-mm. And I'll put it across and we'll see how it looks. I think I'm just gonna do this. Yeah. I think this is neat. So I'm gonna do that. So it's kind of like its eyes, because this thing doesn't have like eye stickers. So we'll do that. And I think that looks cool. And we're just gonna do that. And if I need to put on the other ones, I'll put them on later. I think that's gonna be fine. Because everything else will be covered up. Yeah. I'm feeling okay about that, folks. But let's get a little of this head assembled, because there's only a few more things. We'll get the head done, and then we're gonna go for a raid, and that's how we'll end our evening. Is we'll get the head done on our next kit, the Jahannam. I'm also going to try to figure out how to pronounce that, so I'm actually pronouncing it correctly, but I'm close to what it is. Jahannam. And then also we got to figure out what the colors are. I mean, I have to decide what looks best on this green, and I don't know yet, so I'm not going to make the choice. But white, obviously, we'll use gray on. We got the white here for the weapons, and then there's this dark green and the light green, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, most likely I'm going to use black on both of these, is my thought, but I want to see what black and gray look like on this, because maybe I'll do gray on the light green, but I haven't decided yet. I mean, like I said, most likely I'm just going to use black. I'm going to test it though, but I will decide this before Saturday. I didn't think we'd get this far. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't hate that. There's the head of our next kit that we were building. But that is going to do it for the stream. As I said, we are going to go and raid, because we do end the streams with the raid. So we'll go give somebody some love and find somebody out there on the internet doing cool shit, and give them a quick raid. So feel free to come along on this raid with me. Again, my next stream is going to be on Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we'll continue to work on this. We're actually doing it. We're working on the last kit that I needed to build, which is so weird to say. I have built a Gundam I have now started at least a Gundam from every anime, from every Gundam anime. And that just feels cool. I don't know. It feels neat. All right. Who's streaming right now? Well, our friend Ian, who is doing the panel with me, Ian is streaming, but Ian's definitely going to be ending any minute now, so I don't want to go raid Ian, because I know that he's wrapping up. He's working on a very cool project. You should go check out the archives of that. He's working on it's like a space colony looking thing. We have not checked in with our friend Jordan, aka Ray FK, who is streaming. So we will go give Jordan a raid. Jordan is playing Dota 2. Jordan has been getting real into playing Dota 2. And here's the thing. I like when my friends play what they want to play on stream. And Jordan has pivoted basically to be like, I am a Dota streamer again. So I think that rules. So we're going to go give Jordan some love as Jordan plays some Dota 2. And who knows, maybe we'll learn something. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. I hope you can come along on this raid with me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you very much for being here at the old Build With Baer Workshop, as my first build stream is a 41-year-old. Can you believe it? I can. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you on the next Build with Baer. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.